Using the proper handling and installation procedures of your new multi-glide door is very important in helping your door performing at its best in energy performance and operation. Your multi-glide door will arrive with very important custom protective packaging. Side handles are provided to properly lift the door without potentially damaging it. Always lift the door with the wood support in place and provide as much additional support under the sill as possible so that the door does not sag or bow when being moved. The protective packaging includes structural wood support which must remain in place at all times when being moved any distance. Do not remove the wood supports until the door has been moved to the opening it will be installed into. Lifting or dragging the door without the wood supports can damage the door. When the packaged door is properly placed near the installation site, 2 or more people will be required to unpackage the door. Various wood supports will need to be removed on both sides of the door. The door will require an extraordinary amount of care in how it is lifted in order to avoid damage. Suction cups should be used to move the door to prevent damage to the frame. To remove the additional packaging, rotate the holding block and remove the packaged screens. Carefully cut the stretch wrap around the white hardware box or boxes, depending on the door size. Always lift the door vertically. Never carry the door flat or drag the door. When multi-glide doors are ordered as rough opening sizes, Gerkin will downsize the doors 3/4 of an inch smaller than the rough opening sizes given. This reduction in size gives the door sufficient tolerance for proper shimming and insulating. Multi-glide doors can also be ordered in exact door dimensions for a custom fit. Double-check the size of your rough openings on the inside and the outside of the opening. Measure the edges and the midpoints of your rough opening. The required rough opening size must be maintained at every point within the rough opening. Check the sill for level. Use a laser level on a tripod when checking sill for level. Using a measuring stick, set the stick on one side of the sill where the shim should be located under the sill and mark where the laser level hits it. Move the stick down the sill to the first shim location and measure. Add shims if needed. Continue along the sill, checking each shim location for level. If shims are required, they are to be placed 8 inches in from each corner of the sill, 8 inches on each side of the center of the mulls, and a maximum of 16-inch spacing between the shims along the sill where the door opening occurs. If required, use the provided flat composite shims at the sill. The whole door must be able to be set flat on the shims. Support the whole depth of the door with the shims. Once shims have been placed on the sill, check for level across the top of the shims using a laser level. The door must be perfectly level across the whole width. This is a critical requirement. Check for plumb on the jambs. Using a high grade of silicone, caulk the outside parameter of the rough opening with a liberal amount of caulk. The center line of caulk should be about 1/2 inch from the edge of the rough opening. Use a minimum of 3 people when installing doors. One person should be inside to make sure the door is being set with equal distances from each jamb. And 2 or more people should be used to lift the door into the rough opening. Move the door to the opening and then remove the wood packaging. The door should be carefully lifted into the rough opening by using suction cups to lift it. Do not install the operating panels yet. When lifting the door into the opening, use caution by making sure the door is fully supported at the sill, so that damage from the stress of lifting the door will not occur. Always lift the door in an upright position. Lifting the door in a flat position can cause damage and glass breakage. The door should be lifted into position and set onto the shims with equal spacing from each jamb. With the door set into the opening, Hold the head in place temporarily by overlapping the head flange with a piece of wood and screwing into the structure above the flange. Check the door to make sure it is perfectly level across the full width. This is a critical requirement. Check by using a laser level across the exterior screen track at the sill using the stick method. If it is level, then anchor the sill. Check for square. To check for square, you should measure diagonally from corner to corner on the door frame, as well as the operator opening. To check for bowing, measure the sill, head, and at the midpoint widths. Fully nail the sill, staying 6 inches from each corner. The nails must be centered in the slot with a snug fit using a steel cap ring shank roofing nail. Do not distort or indent the nail fin when pounding the nails in. Recheck for plumb. Level and square prior to nailing the jambs. Once the door has been properly positioned, place a steel cap ring shank roofing nail near the center of each jamb. Recheck the jambs for bowing, as well as square and plumb. Continue to anchor the jambs by placing a nail in the center of every slot, staying 6 inches away from each corner. Prior to nailing the head, measure from the sill screen track to the head screen track. These tracks must be straight and parallel with each other. Anchor the head and remove the temporary wood piece. Next, place a nail in every slot at the head, while again staying 6 inches away from each corner. Do not pull down on the door head while nailing the head, as this could sag the head prior to nailing. After nailing the door in place, make sure that all slots are fully caulked. Recaulk as necessary. Gerkin recommends the use of window wrap tape. AAMA-approved installation methods should be followed. Using the laser level with the stick, measure the interior sash track at the sill along the full length of the sill. Shim at all required points. Add shims where the wheels of the sashes will rest in the closed and open positions. If the laser is not in line with the mark on the stick, shim accordingly. Once the inside track is level, check the measurement from the inside sill track to head track. These tracks must be straight and parallel with each other. All doors must have a nominal 3/8 inch gap between the rough opening in the door and be filled with either fiberglass insulation or soft-cured non-expandable window foam that is as soft as cotton. The insulation must be lightly tucked in place. Door distortion can take place if insulation is overstuffed or the wrong foam is used. It is critical for expansion and contraction requirements that this 3/8 inch gap must be maintained on the exterior as well. All building materials must be at least 3/8 inch away from the door. This includes siding, stucco, brick, rock, and trim. Fill this gap with high-quality caulking. Install strike covers at all locking points on the mulls prior to installing the sashes. Temporarily remove the soft open strike from the head track near the fixed side jamb and the interior aluminum head track closest to the fixed jamb, and store nearby as these will be reinstalled. After removing the head track, carefully shave away the burr left from the screw around each hole. This will allow the tracks to screw flat to the head when reinstalled. For a 4-panel door, repeat the process on the opposite side. Remove packaging from the door panels. Locate the door handle in the white hardware box and then place the handle into the lock. Ensure that the locks are in the open position by observing that the lock pins are at the bottom of the slot. If not, rotate the handle until the pin is in the bottom of the slot and remove the handle. Remove the foam packaging blocks at the sill and head of the door panels before loading the panels into the frame. Engage the soft open and soft close devices at the head of the sash. With the notch of the track towards the interior, place the track into the head of the sash covering the wheels. Slightly tip the top of the door panel towards the interior. With the panel positioned next to the fixed jamb, lift the panel and set the bottom wheels onto the track at the sill. tip the top of the door panel towards the frame and bring the fixed jamb side of the door panel in first. Position the end of the track in the step on the fixed jamb and swing the latch side of the door panel into place. Align the two tracks and slide the door panel into the track mounted on the frame. Do not slide the sash to the point where the soft close will engage. Take care that the unfastened track does not fall out. Reinstall the track using the pre-drilled screw holes and provided screws. Next, reinstall the soft open strike or bumper stops. Do not over-tighten the screws. Check the reveal from the top of the sash and the notch line in the head track. The sash needs to run parallel to this line. Any dip or rise will affect the soft close. Do not engage the soft open or close. Place a shim between the head of the door and the rough opening at the soft open strike location, maintaining the reveal between the sash and head track. There is a pre-drilled screw hole at each of the strikes. This will keep the head from rotating and maintains the position for the soft close hardware to work correctly. Anchor through the track in the pre-drilled hole. Slide the sash and listen to the soft open engage of the strike. Repeat these steps for the remaining soft open and close strikes. On 4-panel doors, close the inactive sash slowly and engage the soft close. Check the alignment of the meeting rail at the back of the sash. If needed, shim to align. Rotate handle to the locked position. Bring the active sash to the closed position and check the gap between the two sashes. If sashes are not parallel in the vertical, then shims will be needed at the sill under the point where the wheels are on the sash. Once sashes are parallel, adjust head shims if required. The soft close or soft open may need re-engagement with the tool provided. Before installing the handle in the active door panel, look through the screw holes to make sure there is a clear view through the internal hardware. At this time, the hardware should be in the open position. With the door panel positioned about halfway open, insert handle into the bottom set of holes on the handle rail with the handle pointing towards the head of the door. The handle with the screw bosses and square rod slide into the exterior side. Slide the other handle on from the interior side. Rotate handles 90 degrees so the handle is horizontal. On the interior handle, lift the metal cap covering the base of the handle and rotate 90 degrees, exposing the screw holes. Slide the longer of the screws provided into the holes on the interior handle, screwing them into the screw bosses on the exterior handle. Use a hand screwdriver, not a power drill, when installing the hardware. Tighten down to bring the base of the handles to the surface of the sash and rotate the cover back into place. Operate the handle to ensure hardware is operating properly. Rotate the handle 180 degrees down to lock the operator. Open the door about halfway and insert the key cylinder into the upper hole on the active door panel. Spin the inside knob to allow the cylinder into the base of the lock. A slight turn of the knob and the cylinder should be held in place. On the side of the handle rail, insert the key cylinder screw. Run the screw in until it hits the cylinder. Shift the cylinder slightly to seat the screw and get it started. Tighten it down. From the exterior side, insert the cylinder cover plate with the screw bosses. The interior base plate has two sides. The side facing you has countersink bevels, allowing the screws to run down to flush against the surface. Place the interior base plate over the lock and install the screws, the shorter of the screws provided. Tighten down until the exterior cover plate and interior base plate are seated on the door panel. Snap the interior cover plate onto the interior base plate. Install the handle on the inactive door panel by using the method used on the active door panel. On the inactive door panel, rotate the handle 180 degrees to make sure that the hardware is moving freely. Then close the inactive door panel and rotate the handle to the closed position. Bring the active door panel to the closed position and rotate the handle to the closed position. Lock or engage the deadbolt. Check to ensure that the locks are working properly. To operate the door from the locked position, unlock the deadbolt on the active door panel. Rotate the handle 180 degrees to the up position. Slide open the active door panel. Rotate the handle on the inactive door panel and slide it open. To close and secure again, first slide the inactive panel closed and rotate the handle to the down position. Next, slide closed the active panel. Rotate the handle down and secure the deadbolt. To install the screens, locate the screen with the astragal applied. Remove the astragal from the inactive screen. With the bevel face towards the exterior, slide the head of the inactive screen in the screen track at the head. Then at the sill, lift the wheel up onto the track and slide the screen into place. With a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, tighten the wheel adjustment screw at the head. Tighten until there is no vertical movement, but it still slides freely. Install the inactive screen and bring it to the closed position, engaging the clip in the track at the head. The screen should slide onto and snap on the clip. There should be some resistance unsnapping the screen from the clip. If there is little or no resistance, squeeze the upper corner of the frame together and recheck the fit. Repeat on the opposite side for the hold open clip. Reinstall the screen astragal and use a block or shims provided to assist with the alignment. The bottom of the astragal should align with the bottom of the screen and install the active screen. By closely following these door installation procedures, your doors will perform at their best in operation and energy performance. Thank you for choosing Gerkin 6400 Multi-Glide Vinyl Doors.